Our political editor, Beth Rigby, was listening to that statement. So, Beth, what did you make of it?
Well, it was short and to the point, Anna, wasn't it? The Prime Minister said, I cannot deliver the mandate for which I have been elected. I have spoken to the King. I've notified him I'm resigning. This morning, she met with Graham Brady, and she says that she and the chair of the 1922 party has agreed that the leadership election will be completed within the next week. Absolutely breakneck speed. So they wanted to keep her in post until that fiscal statement, clear that she could not survive, that she literally could not manage or lead the party even for a couple of weeks longer. And they have decided between them that Liz Truss has to go. She stood down. We will have a new Prime Minister within a week. By the end of next week, Liz Truss is saying there will be a new Prime Minister. It's an absolutely astonishing turn of events. Boris Johnson ousted from number 10 in July. Liz Truss elected. She took up the post on September the 5th. And now here we are 6 weeks later. She's been forced to stand down. And now the question is, who is going to take over? How will those rules work? We are going to have another Prime Minister, the third in a matter of 3 or 4 months within the next week.
Well, yes, and let's reflect on what a moment this is. As you were saying there, Beth, extraordinary that we're going to see yet another Prime Minister take over after 6 extraordinary weeks of her being in office, losing her Chancellor, losing her Home Secretary and having to reverse key planks of her key policies.
That's right, Anna. And let's just reflect for a moment on the attempt of Liz Truss, attempt of her regime and where it all ended up, because it didn't have to go this way, actually, in terms of the policy platform she stood on. The party like that, party members like that, lots of MPs like that. They wanted tax cuts, they wanted to go for growth. But the staging and the pitch rolling of these plans was just done in a way that didn't bring people with her. And as any Prime Minister, any leader knows, you're only as strong as the people that come with you, that you rule, if you like, by consent and by support. And I think what happened with Liz Truss was she had won the party membership over, she had won the position, and with that she took absolute power. And I say that in the sense that she decided to not include Sunak supporters in her cabinet. She then unleashed an economic programme which she said went against Treasury orthodoxy. In fact, she was quite critical. I'm just going to grab a brolly. It's raining a bit now. She was quite critical of the economic orthodoxy of the Treasury. She was critical in the leadership race of the Bank of England. She thought she could do things her way. And then what happened was that statement came out, that mini budget. It went further and faster than people expected, with more than expected tax cuts, £45 billion of unfunded tax cuts. The markets gave their verdict very quickly, and it was very bad for Liz Truss. So bad, she had to U-turn on her 45 pence rate policy to scrap the 45 pence rate. She then had to U-turn a few days later on the entire thing, having sacked her Chancellor. And at that point, we were saying, it's a matter of time. This Prime Minister's reputation is in, to quote one former minister, absolute tatters. You then saw the polling from the public. Only 1 in 10 Britons gave her a favourable rating. She had the worst ratings of any Prime Minister since ratings began. And then, of course, in the polls, Labour just absolutely charging ahead. This is not a recipe for sustainability for a Prime Minister. So in a way, there was a sense that the game could be over. And then a series of unforced errors, I would say, over the past 48 hours has just precipitated her demise. As I said, there was hope she could stay on until October the 31st, just calm things down. It just simply became untenable, and it is nearly beyond belief that having ousted Boris Johnson in July, the Conservative Party, having picked Liz Truss, has decided she is not up for the job, and now we have to see who will replace her. And there is going to be a lot of horse trading now behind the scenes between the likes of Rishi Sunak, Penny Mordaunt, Jeremy Hunt, who else? Ben Wallace, Suella Braverman resigning yesterday, clearly fancies her chances on the right of the party. And what might the party do? Well, as I was reporting this week, there's talks about lifting the nomination threshold above 120 MPs. Why might you do that? Because you flush out other candidates, and the party really want one candidate. I think the fact that, I don't have the details yet, I'm afraid, but I think the fact that the Prime Minister has said the race will be completed by next week, so that's what, 8-9 days from now, suggests to me that it is going to be a race just of the parliamentary party. I don't think that that can go to members during that time. I was told that that could be a problem by someone because that might mean that there was a legal challenge because it should go to members. But obviously Jake Berry, the party chairman, has been in to number 10 and they've clearly discussed all of this. But what an astonishing turn of events. We thought, and we've been talking amongst ourselves and we've been reporting it on television too, that her time was going to be up. As I said last night, people had decided her time was up. The question was the speed of the departure. And I think what happened in the Commons last night, the fracking debacle, the chaos, the whips resigning and not resigning, I think many MPs just said, we can't do this for a day longer, and they haven't. She is out.